Hello VC. I am trying to get more up to date with my record purchases. This isn't all that I have bought during these last few months, but anyway, it's getting closer to being up to date. I'm trying to race through these records, so let's get on with this. This is the second duet album from Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, called You're All I Need. And it was during the making of this album that Tammy Terrell fell ill. And this album isn't a true duet album in a sense that some of these songs were actually Tammy Terrell's solo recordings onto which Marvin Gaye's vocals were dubbed onto. Yeah, but I think these duet albums, there's three duet albums altogether. I think they all are just wonderful, and besides, I think Tammy was absolutely beautiful woman. Okay, the next one. I heard that a few of these albums had been released on vinyl, but for some reason it took like forever until these albums arrived here, and when they did, they were very expensive, so I only bought this one, White Stripes, the Steel. Very good album, quality stuff from White Stripes. Yeah, this was very expensive, but I used my discount on this one, so I got it for reasonable price. Big Country, The Crossing, their first album. This is the second album from them that I have, and I prefer Steel Town to this one. Yeah, I have bought more Big Country also. I'll get back to those a bit later. This was a fantastic release. 10 years anniversary, 10-year collector's edition. Manic Street Preachers, Send Away the Tigers, double album. This is my second favorite Manic Street Preachers album after Everything Must Go. So yeah, this was a great one. The only one of their actual albums that I have on vinyl. I have the compilation also on vinyl. This one came through Shamrock and Records. I had always known about this record, but Brian mentioned that this one also includes the Celtic feel to it, which I didn't know. I only thought that Fisherman's Blues is the only one that has this Irish feel to it. But when he mentioned that this one also has the Irish feel to it, I bought it, and yeah, very, very good album, the Waterboys, Room to Roam. Blind Melon, self-titled from 1992. This is includes an odd memory for me that this was released in 1992, and I obviously heard the song No Rain. It's the only thing that I think that I have heard from this album previously. Obviously it was a hit back then, and I heard it plenty of times, and I have heard it over the years. But the one time that sticks in my memory was in 2004. I was in holiday in Malta, and at the end of the holiday I was back in the airport and waiting for my flight, and they had this Hard Rock Cafe bar there, and I was sitting there in a bar, and on a TV came the video for No Rain, and that is the one that has always stuck in my memory. Always, whenever I see this album, I always think of that time. Yeah, good album. Okay, then let's take that one. The Cure acoustic hits. This and the Greatest Hits were both released as a picture disc on RSD, but this is the black vinyl version. Usually I always like these acoustic renditions of songs, but this one I didn't like that much. Yeah, there were only a couple here that I liked. Hold on. Cut Here and A Forest. Those two I liked, but mostly I didn't like these versions here. They weren't really bad, but just not as good as the original versions. yeah, usually I like acoustic versions, but this time I didn't think this was that good. Okay, let's get to Tom Petty. I have bought several of his albums. Let's take the first one, Highway Companion, his solo album from 2006. Then The Last DJ with Heartbreakers 2002. And Damn the Torpedoes from 1979. And also Mojo from 2010. This is one of my absolute favorites from Tom Petty. Maybe behind Wildflowers. Really, really good. Just pure rock and blues. Really, really good album. Yeah. Then instrumental music was Strait Jackets, Jet Jet. First three songs were like very traditional 60s instrumental music, but after that the rest of the songs have their own style. So I really prefer this album after those first three songs. Not that those first three are bad; they are good songs, but they're just like done traditional 60s style. So I prefer their own style. This is produced by Janne Haavisto, who is my favorite Finnish drummer. Okay, then this one was a pleasant surprise. I saw this cheap, so I decided to give this one a try. This is Stephen Stills' Manassas Down the Road. I really like the first Manassas album. I think it's just fantastic album. But I had read that this one was not good because they were all using cocaine very much. So it was said that the sessions broke down during the making of this album, which would have had a lot of effect on this album. But no, I think this is really, really good album. To my knowledge, the band had broken up by the time this album was released, but it doesn't show on this album in my opinion. This is like one album version of the double album, which was the first Manassas album. But anyway, really, really good album. Then ZZ Top Afterburner. I was always against buying this album because the one song that I remember very, very well was the Velcro Fly, which is full of sequencer and synthesizers. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy this. But since this was the last album on vinyl that I was missing, I decided to buy it anyway. Especially as it includes one of my absolute favorite ZZ Top songs, Stages. This was a better album than I would have remembered because it doesn't have so much synthesizers, but there were a couple of songs that really bothered me, like Can't Stop Rocking, which is the last song on side A, which is basically like, we need a fast rock song, so let's take all the cliches and use those. So basically it's a good song, but it's just a one big cliche. And I don't remember what was wrong with the Delirious, which ends this album, but there was something about it that I didn't like. And obviously Velcro Fly, too much synthesizers on it. But other than that, I thought it was a good album. Okay, back to Big Country. I found a mini album, Wonderland. Great stuff. Again, I prefer this to Crossing. And then, hold on, where is it? Here it is. I also bought The Seer. Again, a better album than Crossing. This one is like really, really great. But I still prefer Steel Town to this one. But really, really good album. So good album, in fact, that I bought it twice. But actually, that's not the reason why I bought it twice. The reason why I bought it twice is that this one is a mispressing. Hold on for a moment. Yeah, I put this on, and when it started playing, I was thinking that that's an old intro for Big Country. I just thought that, yeah, it doesn't sound like Big Country at all. And then I realized, hold on, that riff sounds kind of familiar. It was sort of acoustic, not really acoustic, but acoustic type intro. And then came on Ronnie James Dio's voice. And holy shit, that's Stars. And I checked the whole side, and yeah, side 1 is the side 1 of the album, Hearing Aid album. Side B here is the B-side of this album, The Seer. So yeah, I have heard that these kind of albums, mispressings exist, but I have never come across one before. Okay, and then Blackwood, No Reservations, their first album. Usually their albums are much more towards hard rock, but this one is their most southern rock album that I have heard from them. There are a couple of their late period albums that I have not heard, but of all the albums that I have heard, this is their most southern rock album. Not their best album, I prefer some of their later albums, but still a very good album. Okay, and this one came through James Griffiths. This is Squeeze, East Side Story. Apparently this has originally been sold on June 26, 1982, according to sticker here. Good stuff from Squeeze. I will buy more from them. Then an album that I knew that I would not be feeling too great about it, but I just, I wanted to have it. Mick Jagger, Primitive Cool, his second full-length solo album. I knew that this wouldn't be a great album, but I just wanted to give it a go anyway. I'm not saying that this is really bad, but none of the songs here are really great. It's just an okay album from start to finish. Nothing great about it, but nothing really bad about it either. But the next album here is really great. Black Rose, Warpaint. This is absolutely fantastic. I love this album. And this is some very recent issue. This is the vinyl issue is made to the funds from this album is given to some charity. So you can even do some good job by buying an album. But yeah, if you like their first two Black Rose albums, you will like this one too. Fantastic album. And I didn't like the first part of this one, but I do like this second part. Genesis, The Way We Walk, Volume 2, The Longs. Yeah, this one is a great album. I really dig this one. I think these versions here are like really well done. So yeah, absolutely. I didn't like that first part so much, but this one was really good. And this one was again. I found this about a month later than the first part, and I had never seen this one before on vinyl. And then the third solo album from Keith Richards, Cross-Eyed Heart. I have the first solo album, Talk Is Cheap, which I don't like that much, but I suggest you check James Griffiths' video on that album. It might give you a whole different kind of look for that one. But I thought this one was very decent. I'm not too crazy about this one either, but it's much better than Talk Is Cheap. Well worth checking into. And then a couple of Big Star albums. Best of Big Star double album, both albums plays on 45. Didn't really need this, but this does include a couple of songs from the third album, which I don't have. This is Jesus Christ, Take Care, and Thank You Friends. Thank You Friends and Jesus Christ were the songs that I mainly bought this album for, and obviously Big Star. I'm a big fan of Big Star, so any excuse to buy more stuff from them is welcomed. And then I also bought Chris Bell, I Am the Cosmos, his only solo album released after his death. this one shows how big part of a big star Chris Bell was, because this album is very close to what Big Star did. So yeah, Chris Bell was big part of Big Star, and that's why I end this one with CD. This is Looking Forward, The Roots of Big Star. Includes the stuff that Chris Bell recorded prior to Big Star with Ice Water and what were the other bands that were here. Well, who cares what they were called. Anyway, his recordings prior to Big Star, and Big Star influences can be heard here really clearly. And the quality of the songs is really, really good here also. So definitely, if you like Big Star, check this one out also. Okay, that's it for this time. I am well behind on my record updates, and I have several ideas for different kind of videos. I just need to find time to make them. Okay, thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Bye.